We've been doing it since 1982 for both residential and commercial renovations. I'm behind every job we do, so I can guarantee you that every time you deal with us, you win. Call us or visit us at our website at carverconstructionpa.com.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls.
Welcome to our first edition, 2025. It's the Falcones Coaches Corner. We got a sponsor this year, Ryan. How about that? The Falcone sponsors our post-game show on Friday nights, and they jumped in and decided, hey, we're going to sponsor the Coaches Corner. Welcome, everybody. I'm Mike Azadian, and my producer, as always, is Mr. Ryan Garazunas. Welcome again.
Hey, Mike, how you doing, man? You ready for a new season?
I'm ready. I mean, you've improved already in the first half hour you've been here. I see you're quicker on the buttons. Is it the beard? Is it the beard is growing longer now?
It is the beard. With the beard comes wisdom, and that's where I'm finally catching it.
Well, joining me today, it's going to be Frank Salopek, one of our not play-by-play, but someday maybe play-by-play, but he's one of our color guys for basketball and for football. Also has done a few of these shows with me as well. Frank from Ambridge, played basketball in Ambridge High School, went to LaRoche and played some basketball, and a Beaver County guy through and through. Frank, welcome.
Glad to be here again, Mike, and excited to be a part of the Coach's Corner show with you.
I bring a few people listening-wise, but Frank usually has a pretty good audience, usually some relatives and friends, and he brings some people. And then our special guest tonight, usually we're going to do coaches and kids, athletes, we focus, but the beginning of the year we always do a preview show, and we try to get a local expert, and who not other than the Beaver County Times is Ethan Morrison. Ethan, I think, what is it, your second or third year now with the Times?
Second year with the Times. I've been covering freelancing for them for about 5 before I went full-time there. So
you know these things in and out. So Beaver County, some changes in coaching. There's it's a 2-year cycle, so every school stayed in the same classification, stayed in the same conferences. We'll worry about next year. Next year, you never know who could drop down or up. Usually the main candidates for dropping up or down would be Central Valley if they go back to 4A. But no real big changes in coaching, Ethan. We only saw a couple places change hands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just one that comes to mind is G. Matsook announcing his retirement from Rochester. That was the bigger move there, with him leaving, with Don Phillips coming back in for his second stint after serving as head coach there for 3 years. But yeah, Rochester was really the only big coaching change this year for Beaver County.
And back at Aliquippa, coach that was there before but took a sabbatical, back as their old coach, back at the helm.
Yeah, it's big for them to have him back. It seems like the players are really, really happy to have that presence back on the sideline for them this year, and it seems like that's going to pay some big dividends for them later in the year.
I picture him in my head, and for I don't even know why I forget his name.
Mike Warfield.
Mikey Warfield, yep. That's right. I don't know him one of these days. It's early for me, too. But we're going to start, we're going to go through the sections. Later on, we'll preview the games, and then our game of the week, of course, folks, we're going to be at Southside at Western Beaver. Frank Salopek's going to be alongside Robert Mangino with Tank Latham on the sidelines at 6:30 airtime. Western Beaver, that's another big change, is lights. And, Frank, you were talking about off air before the game. They always had Saturdays, but early in the year, it's sometimes 80, 85 degrees in that high noon sun. Now they're going to be playing under the lights. Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, I think for Western Beaver, they're going to enjoy really being on Friday night lights. It's a special environment. It's a lot different than playing Saturday afternoon. Saturdays afternoons, though, you are sort of the only game in town because everybody in Beaver County generally plays on Friday night. But those lights are going to be beautiful, and I think we'll see better early games because, as I mentioned, as you were just mentioned, I think the heat are in this time of year really got to players. I know you and I did a couple of games there the last few years, and we saw a lot of timeouts that really extended the game due to the dehydration of the players playing in the midday heat.
Yeah, not only that, then you could just wear down, and the games aren't as crisp, they're not as good. But you're right, Friday night's special. Ethan, you've been doing this for a while. Friday night just has a special atmosphere. Like, I'll just pick out Central Valley. They got the big flag. They got the fire truck. They have the kids involved. When the the players go through the line, slap the kids, high five, and Aliquippa is a special environment as well, and a lot of other schools trying to do that as well. But Friday night is a special environment no matter where you go on Friday in Beaver County.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for Western Beaver being one of those final schools in Beaver County to get lights, I think that's just going to bring a whole nother level to their atmosphere on Friday nights. Probably get some bigger crowds as well with people coming out to those types of games. But yeah, all in all, I mean, even for the kids, they're going to be pumped up and excited and ready to go for this game on Friday. Even, I mean, just looking at their reaction from the news when it came out.
So let's start. We have one team in 5A this year. It's Moon. They're right on our coverage area. We don't go there often to cover, but we have covered some playoff games and have been there before. So the Moon Tigers in Section 3 of 5A. 5A has 19 teams. They're in a tough conference. Bethel Park, Peters Township, South Fayette, Upper St. Clair, and Baldwin along with Moon. Now, Moon a few years ago lost. So many players had a bad year, but then they came back. Big upset in the first round. Competitive again last year. Ryan Lynn runs a good program, Ryan, but they're expecting to make the playoffs and do some damage this year.
Yeah, when you look at Moon, they return a ton of guys. They get a bunch of transfers in as well. Davion Taylor from Aliquippa, one of the best edge rushers in the Whitfield. He's now on Moon. Also bringing in Gene Matsuk as an advisor to Ryan Lynn's staff. Ryan, when I talked to him in the offseason, he said, we don't have a coach over 50, so we wanted to bring him in there to see a different look. So bringing him in, that's going to be big for his staff. But yeah, just the guys that they return a lot on the offensive side with their running backs. Paul Brona, they also got a ton of wide receivers as well. Switching up the offense a little bit with senior quarterback Andrew Cross, playing a little bit more spread offense compared to their wing tee that they've ran in years past.
But you have to have depth because Bethel Park has numbers. Peters has been good lately, as has Upper St. Clair. South Fayette's a team that struggled because they moved up from 4A, but three really good teams that you figure should be in the playoffs. So it might come down to Moon and South Fayette and Baldwin for that last spot, unless Moon could have a special year again. But injuries and depth are really big in 5A.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at how I think their season's going to kind of pair similar to where they were last year. I think they will pick up a couple more wins in conference play. They played a number of close games last year. So with the guys that they return, they have a chance to get a couple more wins in conference play and get a more solidified spot. I think they were the 10 last year.
But I also think offensively, the senior quarterback and the experience that he's gained the last couple of years is going to give them an opportunity to really do different things, provide different looks in offense than they've done in the past.
Absolutely, and with them being able to spread the ball out more and be able to, they're playing more to his skill sets than what they did in the wing tee from when he was the starter the past couple of years.
So only one team in 5A. We're going to move to 1A. 3 teams, Cornell, and they're in a cooperative with
Nazareth Prep.
Right, because Naz Prep always has some good basketball players. Rochester and Southside. Let's start Southside in Section 4 with Rochester. And usually the last few years, it's Southside and Neshannock are the best 2 teams. After that, it's a toss-up between Northgate, Laurel, Shenango, and then you have Summit Academy in there as well. Rochester has either been like the 4th place team or just missing out, 4th or 5th the last couple of years. They've had injuries galore the last 3 years. Gene left the program. He didn't leave because he was mad. He just left because it was time. Mm-hmm. By the way, he was recruited by a lot of teams to be like an advisor besides Moon.
Yep.
With Moon. But let's start with Rochester. A lot has happened. They lost a lot of kids. They had some injuries. They're down to 17 kids.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them this year just to get through the year. Just trying to limit the injuries is going to be their biggest key to just be able to get through the year. I mean, they have some guys that returned, but also lost some players as well. So it's just going to be a matter of can they just put the pieces together and use what they have. They're still in 1A, so you can get by with a smaller roster, but 17 guys,
that's gonna be hard.
You have little to no depth, and Don Phillips knows that, and he's trying to work with what he's got.
Frank, I was going to ask you, I mean, Laurel and the Shenango, always competitive teams. Southside, we know how competitive they are. Unless Rochester has some special kids or can get some more kids to play, the game they play against Summit Academy may be a chance, one of their only chances to try to win. You feel bad for the kids, but when you don't have numbers, you can't win in football.
Yeah, Mike, that's really dangerous that they don't have numbers. And, I had a friend of mine that coached a few years ago, and he didn't have numbers on his team. And after a couple of injuries, they had to shut down the program.
Yep.
So there's really a danger here that they may not have enough players to complete the season. But you hope that they have good health and the kids that came out start to establish a new culture, and that next year more kids will come out and return Rochester to a competitive situation.
Quickly, Ethan, Southside, Luke Travelpiece, they went to the WPL final, I believe, 2 years ago, had a great playoff team last year. They lose talent. They still bring in, they got a lot of good offensive linemen, a good running game, and he's run a really good program. They've been good defensively. They should be one of the favorites to win that section.
Yeah, I expect much more of the same from Southside. Last year, I didn't even think they were going to have that competitive of a season where they could make it to the WPL quarterfinals. But, yeah, Luke Travelpiece runs a heck of a program over there with the numbers that he has. I mean, they return a ton of pieces from last year's squad. They only lose Mateja Pavlovich, who's going to be a punter at Syracuse now. That's really only their big missing hole there. They return their quarterback, bunch of running backs that have a lot of experience. They have a lot of depth this year that they can rotate guys in and out on offense and defense. In years past, they couldn't do that. So they are set up to succeed in that conference and potentially make another deep run in the playoffs.
We have them this Friday night at Western Beaver. When Western Beaver opens up their brand new lights, it's going to be a big extravaganza there. We'll be there to see Southside and Western. And quickly, before we take a break, Cornell in Section 3 with no other Beaver County teams. Your best teams there, probably Fort Cherry with Matt Sieg. They're the overwhelming favorite. After that, it's whoever has the numbers between Monessen, Sarah, Bishop Canevin, Burgettstown, Chartiers, Houston. That section is all over the place. You got teams from as far away as Sarah and Monessen all the way on the other side to Burgettstown. So there's a lot of travel in that section. But Cornell was competitive the last few years, but what kind of athletes do they have?
I expect more of the same from them. They lose a lot of their wide receivers, but they still bring back their Swiss Army knife and Khalil Johnson. Great running back. He threw for a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, caught a touchdown in the game last year. So he's very versatile, along with some of their other guys as well. I mean, Cornell's been turning over 10 seniors each year the past 3 years, but Ed Dawson, he runs the program well, and I expect them to be competitive with Bishop Canevin and Fort Cherry once again this year in that tough conference.
Should be a lot of fun. We're going to come back. We're going to talk AA next, and then, of course, 3A and 4A. But letting you folks know that Pizza Joe's is one of our sponsors. They give pizzas to the kids on Friday night. Of course, us four got them tonight. We get Pizza Joe's. They're known for so many things on their pizza. You can get sweet peppers, jalapenos, ham. Some people, last year, they started a pickle pizza. Have any of you guys had a pickle pizza yet?
I have.
Is it good?
It's good. Yeah, I enjoy it.
I'm not a pickle guy.
I am a traditionalist when it comes to pizza. It's just pepperoni and extra cheese.
They got wings, hot subs, and wedges. Pizza Joe's in Beaver. Call them for your pizza needs. We'll be back on the Falcones Coach's Corner right after these messages on Beaver County Radio.
Are you frustrated by high copays for your generic drugs? Stop overpaying and start saving. Discover Forward RX, your local cost plus pharmacy in New Brighton. At Forward RX, we believe in transparency and affordability. No insurance middlemen, no inflated prices, just the true cost of your medication plus a simple fixed markup. Join the Forward RX family today and experience the difference. Check out our medication prices online at fwdrx.com or give us a call for a price quote. Forward RX. Come for the savings and stay for the service.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Falcones Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Attention seniors! Did you know that by being a part of Silver Sneakers, you can receive a Beaver County YMCA membership for no additional cost? More than 16 million Medicare members have access to the Silver Sneakers program. Just give our member service representatives a call, and we'll take care of the rest. For more information, give us a call at 724-891-8439. Again, that's 724-891-8439.
Searching for a sleek new ride without breaking the bank this summer? All Access Automotive next to the YMCA has you covered. With reliable service, easy financing, and an extensive list of inventory, All Access Automotive has become the premier spot in Beaver County to find your car of the future. Looking to trade in your current vehicle? All Access will give you a fair trade-in value. Browse the eye-catching All Access lot Monday through Saturday and talk to an All Access representative and learn more today. All Access Automotive, where reliability and transparency come before anything else.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Hi, I'm Tashawn, a proud graduate of Aliquippa Junior Senior High School and formerly a student at Johnson C. Smith University. I made the decision to stay drug-free, and that choice opened up doors for me in school, sports, and in life. Opioid misuse is a growing problem in communities throughout Beaver County. Every day, more than 100 people in the U.S. lose their lives to opioid overdoses. Opioids don't just affect one person, they impact families, schools, and futures. Opioids are powerful and dangerous when misused. The best choice you can make is to stay informed and stay drug-free. Choosing to stay drug-free helped me focus on my goals and build something better. To learn more and get involved, follow us on Facebook at Drug Free Aliquippa. Your future starts now. Drug Free Aliquippa, strong choices and brighter futures.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced staff is there to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop into Beaver County's best firearms store, Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton, or check out their website at tri-statesportingarms.com.
Thanks for tuning in to the Falcones Moon Township Ford Coach's Corner here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being brought to you by Electric Garage Door Sales, Forward RX, Patriot Home Care, the YMCA, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, All Access Automotive, Drug Free Aliquippa, the St. Barnabas Health System, the Fry Transportation Group, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Carver Construction, and Beaver County Radio.
Back on Beaver County Radio with Ethan Morrison and Frank Salopek. I'm Mike Azadian. The Falcones Coach's Corner. Previewing the season, we have already gone through Moon in 5A and then Cornell, Rochester, and Southside in 1A. We'll go to 2A where we have 7 teams, 6 in one section. Let's quickly go to Section 1 with Our Lady of Sacred Heart right out there in Moon Township, actually right between Moon and Coriopolis. I don't know if they're officially in Moon Township or not, but it's right on the line. They play another section that's just all over the place. Apollo Ridge, Ligonier Valley, Shady Side, South Allegheny, South Park, and Steel Valley. It's kind of the conference of, well, let's just take what's left and throw them in there, Ethan. And pretty competitive, lost a couple stars from their solid teams last year, the playoff team last year, but should be competitive in that section again.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a very young roster, Mike. Like you said, they lost a lot from last year's team, but they have 52 guys on their roster this year. That's the largest roster that program has had in their 16-year history as a football team. So they have a lot more depth than they had in years past, but with these young freshmen and sophomores, there's a lot of upside to them, but it's going to take some time for them to develop and learn throughout the season. Okay. But that's just going to be their biggest thing.
But I do think culture and expectations makes young players come up to the standard as quickly as possible.
For sure, and Donnie Militzer's done a great job in building that program up and what they've been able to build over these past several years, making it to the playoffs and everything like that. And yeah, they got some young guys that they're very, very high on, and that can make a very big impact. Even just in week 0 last week, they did.
Section 2 is where it really happens in Beaver County. Beaver Falls, Elwood City, Freedom, Mohawk, New Brighton, Riverside, Union, and Western Beaver. Last year, Elwood City, I believe, won the section. Mohawk, Western Beaver were playoff teams. New Brighton made it last year, right?
New Brighton did not, no.
They did not, but
they just missed.
Union made it.
Union did not either, I don't
So
think.
who made it then? It wasn't Freedom.
It wasn't Freedom.
Beaver Falls
they might have put a wild card. I don't know.
Yeah, they might have put a wild. But this is a section that could have some fluctuation again this year. Beaver Falls looks better, and we'll get to your comments on it, Ethan. Disastrous season last year with only a few seniors, a couple of juniors. They lost everybody, but they bring back a young squad, a new young quarterback. Elwood City loses some of their main players, so they may take a step down. We'll see. They lost last week. Freedom struggled last year. We'll see if they can fight for a playoff spot. Mohawk is usually pretty good, should be one of the better teams in the section. New Brighton with an upsurge last year. They should still be pretty good, even though they're missing a few key ingredients. Riverside loses some players too. Western has lost some players, and Union. So the theme in this one seems to be all the teams have lost talent, but Beaver Falls brings a lot of talent back.
Yeah, absolutely. Compared to last year when they only brought, I think, 2 starters back, now they have over a dozen back on that side of the ball. They get Christian Dawkins back, who's back from a knee injury, who missed all of last season. He's a big piece as a running back and at linebacker, so having him back is huge. Jacob Jessamine up front. The big thing with them is they have leaders in all 3 areas of the field, up front, at running back, and then also at wide receiver and defensive back. That's going to be huge for them to have that senior leadership and help these younger guys along and hopefully turn the corner this year.
How about the quarterback?
I like him. Sophomore quarterback Joey Clark, younger brother of Makai Clark, big football family. Makai Clark was an all-state player for Beaver Falls during his career. Just a great football family. He has a ton of upside as well. He could make an impact for Beaver Falls once he starts to figure things out and gets into a rhythm.
Mike, I would have to ask you.
Yeah.
You guys called the game last week.
Yeah.
They played up against a competitor playing up, and they didn't get blown out. So compared to where they were last year to the test they had in week 0, what's your impression?
So he's right about the lineman. Jacob Jessamine, 300-pound lineman, is one of their senior leaders. And Christian Dawkins, a middle linebacker, running back, ran. He's a senior. He ran behind him. So the running game was good. They used Kenny Joel at receiver. But Xavier Clark, I tell you what, he's not very big. He's only a sophomore. But I tell you, he is fast. Very, very fast. And Frank, in any sport, speed kills. Basketball, football. If you got speed, especially in football, that is a big thing. The key is what kind of depth do they have when they have injuries.
Yeah, I mean, if he has that breakaway speed, that's going to be different. And you're right. I mean, do they have enough numbers to overcome injuries, or are they going to be relying on a small bench?
So we've got a couple minutes left before the next break. Ethan, anything on Elwood City and Freedom and Riverside? Those 3 kind of together real quick, and then we'll get to New Brighton and Western Beaver.
Yeah, Mike, like you mentioned, Elwood City lost a ton of seniors from last year's team. Their quarterback, Smiley, his brother, Tyler Smiley, is the starter now.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I still think they can be competitive, though. They bring a lot of pieces back on the outside with Daylon Curry and Dominic Hogue. Riverside, they lose both of their linebackers, Robbie Janis and Ryan Dugas. They shifted in Joe Chill and Tyler Richards into the linebacker position, so they're learning new positions.
And they lost that tight end
and
linebacker.
They lost Zach Hare as well.
Zach Hare, who's the pitcher who threw the perfect game in the WPL playoffs. Losing players, but then, new guys got to step up. Frank, any hope for Freedom? I know you have some ties to the area. You know some people. They've struggled the last few years. They lose a lot of talented kids to soccer. They just have not been able to do much the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I think that's the issue. Kids in the district are, putting their talents in other sports, and it's definitely had an impact on Freedom. Every year you go in with the expectation, is this the year we begin to change? I think this might be a bit of a struggle for Freedom this year, unfortunately. but hoping for the best, and would love to see them find the opportunity to be more competitive, especially in this tough section.
Ethan, one of the great stories last year for Beaver County was the resurgence of New Brighton. I mean, they had been really, really struggling over the last, 15 years. Just didn't seem to have it. Everything was going wrong. Not only not competitive, but just games were just not even... It wasn't a fun atmosphere. But then last year happened. A lot of the same kids, but a lot of the turnaround has to go to John McCouga. We had him on the program last year. He's a young coach with young kids, and he seemed to they got the best out of him. When they won that first game, they almost threw a parade. Everybody showed up at the high school, and they did it a couple of times, and just missed out on the playoffs. But now expectations get a little bit better because now people want them to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think he knows that. I think he wants to take that next step and get into the postseason. But yeah, he just flipped that culture right around when he began, and they were able to string together some really good competitive games, and I think we're going to see much more of the same. And with a lot of those guys return now this year, they got a new starting quarterback in Carter Jackson, so he's still trying to figure things out, but they return both of their running backs, a good receiving core, and some guys on defense that can make plays, so I think they're in a good spot.
Frank, Western Beaver, you're going to cover the game on Friday night. I don't want to say controversy, but 2 years in a row with the quarterback transferring out, and now he's gone, and now more of a running team. They're going to play Southside, a traditional rivalry, although some years both are in single A, some years both in double A. It switches back and forth. But Western Beaver, all hope is not lost because they lost their quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. They lost the quarterback, but you look at week one. They rushed for 315 yards on 28 carries. They ripped off some big runs. They were playing up against Ambridge in competition, and they were able to rip the runs and just keep pounding the ball. And so the strategy changes from being able to mix up the pass and the run to being run heavy. But I think with the culture that has been built there, the success they've had the last few years, I think you're looking at Western Beaver, either them or Mohawk really being the section champs here.
Yeah, and you never know what's going to happen there. Mohawk usually pretty good. We don't yet know what Union's going to bring because sometimes they have low numbers. But yeah, we don't know what Elwood City, Beaver Falls, even if Freedom, Riverside, it's going to be a fight. 6 or 7 teams for 4 spots. It should be an interesting section. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with 3A and 4A, but remind you, the Pizza Joe's is the place to go for your pizza needs. 9-cut, 4-cut, gluten-free, 12-cut, square, 8-cut, 12-cut. Doesn't matter what it is. They'll take care of you. And they also have dipping sticks and rollers, Frank. I know you are a garlic knots kind of guy, aren't you?
I do like garlic knots, but I'm also a fanatic for a good mozzarella cheese sticks.
Ethan, you strike me as being a fries kind of guy.
You got me right, Mike.
There you go. They got it all, man. They got it all at Pizza Joe's. And we're going to take a break here on Falcone's Coach's Corner, only on Beaver County Radio. We'll be back right after this.
Looking for a day of family fun? Join us for Community Day at CCBC on Saturday, July 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on campus in Monaca. It's a celebration of community with free admissions and activities for all ages. Enjoy food trucks, a dunk tank, games, prizes, escape rooms, artists, and authors. Plus, meet Volt the Titan and pick up a free backpack. Whether you're a student, parent, or community member, there's something for everyone. Celebrate, connect, and explore at CCBC Community Day. Visit ccbc.edu/Community Day for more information.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
If the Black and Gold can get a new quarterback every year, maybe you can switch teams too. This is Coach Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union. I'm looking for new free agents, or should I say, members. Our membership is open to many organizations and groups throughout the county. Join my team at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Details and applications are available now. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
Are you looking for a cigar, tobacco, vape, and roll your own supply store in Beaver County? Visit Vape and Roll With It at 751 Merchant Street, Ambridge to shop for a variety of the best cigars in the walk-in humidor. They also sell vape juice, disposable vapes, glass, and CBD. You can also view several of their in-store promotions by following Vape and Roll With It on Facebook and Instagram. Visit vapeandrollwithit.com for more information. Don't worry about prices or stress, just roll with it. Open 7 days a week on Merchant Street in Ambridge. That's Vape and Roll With It.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Bob. We're retired, and we live at St. Barnabas in the Village.
We used to have a house.
Lived in it for 40 years.
Raised our kids.
But it became too much. The upkeep, the stairs.
Moving seemed like such a hassle. We didn't even know where to start, so we didn't.
Until we met Cindy at St. Barnabas.
She talked us through our options.
Yeah, and she helped us with our move and all the arrangements.
There was so much stuff. Who knew we had 3 fondue pots?
But she made it easy.
So easy.
Now we enjoy ourselves.
Golf, the pool, new friends, shuttles to where we want to go.
The pub and the food.
So good.
There wasn't a long-term commitment or any large fees.
And they have a healthcare system on campus with doctors if we need it. The kids really like that.
The kids like to come and eat with us.
There's an easier, worry-free way to retire at the Village at St. Barnabas. Come visit us for a free and informative counseling session and personal tour.
I can't believe you waited so long.
I can't believe you waited so long.
Visit stbarnabashealthsystem.com or call 724-443-0700.
Beaver County Radio's 78th year of broadcasting high school football continues this Friday night. Tune in at 6:30 p.m. as we travel to Western Beaver for their first ever night game with permanent lights. The Golden Beavers will be hosting the Southside Rams. Join Robert Mangino and Frank Selapek as they call the action from Rich Niabala Field. Tank Latham will have the Latham team at eXp Realty Sideline reports throughout the game. The audio and video coverage gets underway with a 6:30 p.m. pregame and kickoff set for just after 7. You can watch the game on Facebook Live or on our YouTube channel. You can listen to the games on 99.3 and 95.7 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. High school football coverage on Beaver County Radio is brought to you in part by All Access Auto, Fisher's Foodland, Drug Free Aliquippa, McGee Heating and Air Conditioning, St. Barnabas Health System, the Fry Transportation Group, and Beaver County Radio.
Thanks for tuning in to the Falcones Moon Township Ford Coach's Corner here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being brought to you by Electric Garage Door Sales, Forward RX, Patriot Home Care, the YMCA, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, All Access Automotive, Drug Free Aliquippa, the St. Barnabas Health System, the Fry Transportation Group, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Carver Construction, and Beaver County Radio.
Back on Beaver County Radio, it's the Falcones Coach's Corner. Thanks to Moon Township Ford, Falcones Ford, for sponsoring the Coach's Corner this year. If you're looking for a new car, head on up to Falcones. On the Strip, there's a lot of car dealers, but the only one you should be going to is Falcones. Also, thanks to Pizza Joe's for their sponsorship and help as well. Coach's Corner First Edition, it is the annual preview show. We've gone through 5A. We've gone through 1A and 2A. I'm Mike Azadian. In case you didn't know, your friendly reporter. Also, Ryan Garazunas. We got to get a camera on you one of these days. We got to have, I think we need to have a contest to measure how long the beard is. Maybe have fans call in. It's kind of like, you know how you put a bunch of M&Ms in a jar and you guess and somebody wins money? We do the same thing with your beard. How do you feel about that?
I like it. And then
we'll talk to Frank about it. Maybe we'll get some advertising behind it.
And maybe we could award your services. People, you could go visit people and they could enjoy the Mike and Zadian experience.
We'll get all the barbers in the area to compete to see who cuts it.
Mike, I'm just trying to figure out, is he going for the ZZ Top look or the Duck Dynasty? That's what I really want to know.
I don't think he's got ZZ Top talent.
It's in the middle. We're kind of in the middle of the two right now, but I do not have ZZ
you
Top
look more
talent.
like Duck Dynasty to me.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
we'll take it.
With Frank Salopek and Ethan Morrison, Beaver County Times is Ethan Morrison. We'll start now in 3A. We only have 4 teams in 3A, but what a section this is. Last year was a tremendous section. Avonworth went to the state final. Avonworth won the WPL title. They beat Central Valley, a section mate. They're back again. Beaver, who was a team to be reckoned with all year long, they had a tremendous team last year as well. Hopewell was a team that had so much young talent knocking on the door. You've got North Catholic that's always competitive. 5 pretty strong teams with McGuffey and Quaker Valley. We don't know what McGuffey brings, but QV, a big win for them last week, Ethan. And, they've struggled since their state championship run. They're a soccer school. They're more of a, soccer, tennis, track, basketball. Football isn't their big thing, but they're hoping for better things with their first-year coach.
Absolutely. Tom Eschenbach comes in, former assistant at Freedom. He actually served as an assistant on Quaker Valley's staff under Ron Baylog when he was the head coach there for a couple of years. So I think you're going to see kind of the same thing that happened with New Brighton. I think there's a culture shift. He's trying to flip the culture around in this program after a number of years of losing. They haven't made the playoffs since 2018. They have some pieces. They have some senior leadership, but they're still a young and group that needs to continue to grow. But, I mean, just looking at Ben McHenry and what he was able to do last week, threw for a touchdown, rushed for a touchdown. Is their kicker too? Nailed a field goal, nailed all of their point after attempts. So they got some pieces. They can win a couple games this year. I think they're going to be knocking on the door for a potential playoff spot, but it's a tough section with the guys at the top.
And when the guys at the top have numbers, and Frank, again, we go, you base it on some of these single A and 2A teams. When you're QV, you might have some great athletes, but what do you have backing them up? And a lot of your very, very good athletes are playing soccer. If you had more talent there, like they did when they won the state title, they had a group of kids that grew up wanting to play football and weren't soccer kids. They were football kids. But usually at QV, it's not a football school. What do you do as a coach? How do you get kids to come out for a program? How do you begin to turn around a program that has a losing tradition?
Yeah, I think part of that is the getting the W's, right? Once you start winning a couple of games and then you have a good season, you get other kids that say, hey, I want to be a part of that. And that's really what it comes down to is you got to find a way to win and get kids interested in playing, and you got to build those feeders from the lower grades up and get kids more actively involved in the lower grades. I think our best football schools in the county generally have great Little League programs where those kids grow up through.
Good point. Ethan, last year we had Avonworth and Beaver and Central Valley were tied for a long time, determining who was going to be the section champ. It was going to be who beats who. At the end of the year, Avonworth went into Beaver. Everybody anticipated a great game, and Beaver just throttled them. Now, unbeknownst to a lot of people, after the game, there was some taunting by fans and students towards Avonworth's team and players. And not everybody, but some people took it a little too serious. Avonworth kept that chip on his shoulder. And what do you know? They draw Beaver in the playoffs, and they come back, and their head coach was not having it. And it was Duke Johncower. He was rough with the media leading up to it, and they just absolutely tore Beaver apart in that game like I have not seen. Beaver wasn't competitive from the flip of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, and just looking at just what they've got. I mean, it's a completely different team from last year, from what they bring back. But yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, yeah, they had a great group last year of guys, and that was a great shot. Brady Mayo,
right.
Amari Jackson as well. Those two big guys. They're two big running backs like Quaylen Kane and Dre Hall. Yeah, they had all the talent there to make that run, and unfortunately, things for them ended early in the quarterfinals.
And you know, their coach, such a good guy, Court Rouse, always gracious, comes on the program. Talked to him over the years, if you have. They were building, had the linemen, but it was a matter of getting that talent. You know, Brady Mayo got hurt against Central Valley early in the year. But you could see they were winning games. They were competitive against Central Valley, but lost. They just didn't have it that day against Avonworth. I've never seen a team completely implode like they did. But losing all those players, what's Court do to get that team and the young kids now competitive in a section that's going to have good teams in Avonworth, Central Valley, and Hopewell, and North Catholic.
Yeah, he knows what he's lost in the playmakers that he's trying to replace. I mean, they're starting a lot of new guys up on the line. I think JT Pashut is the only returning senior starter that's been on that line for a while, but they have their quarterback back in Travis Clary. He's a 3-year starter.
Oh, that's right.
So he's back. He's a big piece. Jonah Justice was very, very good in their Week 0 game last week as their running back. They got a sophomore in Avery Scale, so they have the pieces there. Court's in his 5th year. He's brought this program back to where it wants to be. Obviously wants to make that deep run in the playoffs and get back to the Whitfield championship game. But he's just trying to retool and now reload and get them to where they need to be at. Tough showing against Mars, but they need to just continue to build and reset after that game.
Mike, and real quickly, I think for those players that now moved up a class, right? Now your sophomores went to juniors went to seniors. I do think that in the back of their minds, they're going to remember that Avonworth, what happened to them.
They will.
And they will have some real desire to change the outcome this year.
For Beaver, it's going to be a matter of you have to beat McGuffey, you have to beat Quaker Valley, you have to then upset an Avonworth, Central Valley, Hopewell, or North Catholic if you want to make the playoffs. Speaking of Central Valley and Hopewell, we'll save Hopewell for last. Ethan, Central Valley, always good. We talked off air. Mark Lyons' squad, unbelievable non-conference schedule last year. They got another unbelievable conference schedule this year. They'll lose 2 or 3 games to 4 and 5A teams, but they'll be competitive. But they always do well in this section. They should be one of the favorites in this section again.
Yeah, Mark Lyons loves those tough, daunting non-conference schedules, going up against a Whitfield title contender in Thomas Jefferson this week. Just another great team. And then got Bell Vernon the next week before conference play starts. So, yeah.
And they got somebody big at the end of the year, too.
North Hills at the end, yep.
Yeah.
So a big 5A school there. So, yeah, they got the non-conference schedule to build themselves up. They lost some pieces from last year. Most notably, Jance Henry, their big running back, along with Mason Dixon. Jance transferred out to Ohio, and Mason graduated, so they had to replace some pieces there. But, yeah, with this tough non-conference schedule, I think they'll be in good shape.
Frank, let me ask you. You've been on teams. You've seen enough basketball and football. When you have a program like Central Valley, you're not really rebuilding, you're retooling. It's the next guy up, and they got to replace running backs. They've always had a strong running game, always had strong linemen. Talk to us about when you're a team playing those non-conference schools. Mark told us last year that he had a tough time getting kids to believe after they lost all those non-conference games. You've got that, and then you have to bring some new players in. It could be a little shaky early on for them.
Yeah, I think Mark has a great strategy. Playing these tougher exhibition games, you're preparing those kids that didn't see a lot of game time unless there was a blowout. But as you're retooling, not rebuilding, these tough non-section games allows them to be prepared to be successful when they hit the section, and you're really playing similar competition in your section.
Before we hit Hopewell, I mean, a lot of people think 3A is weaker. We had, I believe, 3 of the final 4 teams were from Section 1 last year, and they do have Hopewell right now, in some publications, is ranked the number 5 team in early season rankings. Section 2 has teams like Deer Lakes, which were pretty solid. Freeport is always a playoff team. Highlands, Amani Christian. Section 3 has Elizabeth Forward, Greensburg, Salem. There's really no all-star studded teams in Section 2 or 3. So this section, if you compete in this section, you likely could be competing for a WPL title. And it's been that way the last handful of years.
I think outside of Amani Christian, I think you're right, Mike. Amani Christian is loaded once again. I think they're going to be one of those favorites. They were in the semifinals last year. I think they're one of the favorites to make it to that championship game. But yeah, that Western Hills Conference with Central Valley, Avonworth, Beaver, and those teams, and now you throw Hopewell into the mix, and don't count out North Catholic as well.
That's right.
It's a loaded conference, and it's going to be a very, 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 very entertaining conference schedule, to say the least.
And I know we're excited about the young man from Beaver Falls, Xavier Clark. And there's other kids to be excited about too. But the one, I'm sure there'll be some guys coming from Aliquippa and other teams, maybe some guys that you've talked about in the paper. But the one guy that came on the scene last year was James Armstrong from Hopewell. And I mean, he is a big kid. He is a lineman playing quarter. He's bigger than most linemen in the district. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a good 250. but he runs fast. He runs from the shotgun or for the Wildcat, and he's got some other weapons behind him. So Hopewell, I think people expect him to be better, expect him to be a playoff team. The question is, will they get ahead of a Beaver? Can they compete with an Avonworth and Central Valley? Should be some exciting games with them this year.
I think absolutely, especially with what they have returning and what they brought in as well with Nasir Wade coming in. He's a big boost to them. Nasir Wade was from Aliquippa. Didn't get a lot of playing time there, but Matt Motts is going to utilize him a lot this year in the backfield. And James Armstrong's in his second year now. I think the biggest thing for him is to be able to stand in that pocket more and be able to release the ball and be able to get passes off instead of just scrambling like he did a lot last year. So I think he's going to be a lot more poised in the pocket. They have a ton of receivers out wide that can make plays, both young and seniors as well. So I think they're going to be another tough team in that mix that can flip games back and forth during conference play.
Before we take a break, Frank, expectations. People were expecting them to be better. And also, the second thing I want you to talk about is everyone's going to be geared to stop him on the run. Mm-hmm. How do you get through those two things?
Well, I mean, I think really at the end of the day, they're going to try to stop him on the run, but he's got to be able to pass the ball and distribute the ball around to his other talented playmakers. And that's going to really be part of the maturing process for him. Needless to say, they know that he is a man amongst boys. He's a generational talent in Beaver County that we're going to be talking about. So it's going to be fun to watch, but this section is going to be a hard section. And the danger here is that they beat each other up in section play, even though you made those comments about the other sections in not being as strong.
I still think that you're going to see one or two of these teams in the semifinals along with Amani Christian, and it depends on how good these teams are that good. Ethan, from what I understand, James Armstrong is a very, very good baseball player as well.
Yeah, baseball and basketball as well. So he does it all throughout all three seasons.
Kind of our new Mayo, where he couldn't decide between football, basketball, and baseball. Some people said baseball was his best sport. He went to college to play football. But Armstrong's going to have his choices too.
Yeah, Mayo actually flipped back to basketball, and he's playing basketball now at Slippery Rock. Yeah, so he was originally committed for football and then flipped to basketball. But yeah, I mean,
because basketball was his love.
Basketball was his love, but he wanted to play football, and then he flipped back to basketball.
Football is where he got his first scholarship.
Yep.
And baseball was where people had said, "Hey, man, you got a good future in baseball," but he loves basketball too much. So, all right, another break coming up. We'll come back with 4A. We'll talk Aliquippa, Ambridge, Blackhawk, and West Allegheny. Also, don't forget to order from Pizza Joe's. They're open. I don't see what time they're open till 10 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, and Friday and Saturday, 11 o'clock, Sunday, 11 till 10. You can get a meal there anytime. We are here in our studios up on Dutch Ridge Road. It's the Falcones Coach's Corner. We'll be back in a few minutes here on Beaver County Radio.
This is Mitch Carver from Carver Construction. Playing a great football game takes teamwork, great leaders, and great individuals. As a former high school football coach myself, I know what it takes to win. I apply these same qualities to Carver Construction in New Brighton. Satisfying customers isn't anything new at Carver. We've been doing it since 1982 for both residential and commercial renovations. I'm behind every job we do, so I can guarantee you that every time you deal with us, you win. Call us or visit us at our website at carverconstructionpa.com.
Are you frustrated by high copays for your generic drugs? Stop overpaying and start saving. Discover Forward RX, your local cost plus pharmacy in New Brighton. At Forward RX, we believe in transparency and affordability. No insurance middlemen, no inflated prices, just the true cost of your medication plus a simple fixed markup. Join the Forward RX family today and experience the difference. Check out our medication prices online at fwdrx.com or give us a call for a price quote. Forward RX. Come for the savings and stay for the service.
Before and after school care will now be provided at the Beaver County YMCA for students enrolled in the New Brighton and Rochester school districts. Children in this program have the chance to do homework, make friends, and have fun. We're also excited to introduce Preschool Light, designed to help children learn through socialization, art, language development, and much more. For more information, please visit our website, www.beavercountymca.org.
Searching for a sleek new ride without breaking the bank this summer? All Access Automotive next to the YMCA has you covered. With reliable service, easy financing, and an extensive list of inventory, All Access Automotive has become the premier spot in Beaver County to find your car of the future. Looking to trade in your current vehicle? All Access will give you a fair trade-in value. Browse the eye-catching All Access lot Monday through Saturday and talk to an All Access representative and learn more today. All Access Automotive, where reliability and transparency come before anything else.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Listening to live sports on the radio in Beaver County is a tradition. This is Craig Fontana from Moon Township Ford, and I ought to know. My dad, Bill Fontana, has called games for over 50 years. Beaver County people know a good call when they hear one, and the best call you can make is to buy your next new or used vehicle at Moon Township Ford. Click moontownshipford.net or visit Moon Township Ford on University Boulevard.
Falcone's Moon Township Ford, where friends send friends.
Hello, I'm Makai Johnson. I graduated from Aliquippa High School, drug-free, and now I'm going into my second year at Cheney University. Staying drug-free helped me stay focused, pass my classes, and earn many scholarships. Did you know 1 in 6 teens who use marijuana will develop a dependency? Most people don't realize that marijuana can be addictive. It can impact memory, judgment, and even athletic and academic performance. I've got big goals, and I'm not letting anything stop me from reaching them. Your choices now shape your future. Learn more and get involved. Follow us on Facebook at Drug Free Aliquippa. Your future starts now. Drug Free Aliquippa, strong choices, brighter futures.
When you talk about community involvement and safety, the name Fry stands at the forefront in Beaver County. Fry Transportation's mission is to continue to raise the bar as the gold standard in their industry by providing the safest, most reliable, and cost-efficient transportation service in Beaver County through their strong relationships with their communities, best-in-their-class drivers, equipment, and technology. There's nothing more important than the safety of their students, employees, and community members. Fry Transportation, where the quality of their organization is characterized by the makeup of the individual behind the wheel.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced staff is there to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop into Beaver County's best firearms store, Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton, or check out their website at tri-statesportingarms.com. Looking for a day of family fun? Join us for Community Day at CCBC on Saturday, July 19th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on campus in Monaca. It's a celebration of community with free admissions and activities for all ages. Enjoy food trucks, a dunk tank, games, prizes, escape rooms, artists, and authors. Plus, meet Volt the Titan and pick up a free backpack. Whether you're a student, parent, or community member, there's something for everyone. Celebrate, connect, and explore at CCBC Community Day. Visit ccbc.edu/Community Day for more information.
If the black and gold can get a new quarterback every year, maybe you can switch teams too. This is Coach Andy Dangle from Freedom United Federal Credit Union. I'm looking for new free agents, or should I say, members. Our membership is open to many organizations and groups throughout the county. Join my team at Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Details and applications are available now. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA Equal Housing Lender.
It might be time to repair or replace that old garage door. Call on Robin and her team of expert installers at Electric Garage Door Sales in Monaca. Dial 724-774-3200 and your door will work like a charm. Featuring CHI quality garage doors, LiftMaster garage door openers, and over 50 years experience, Robin and her team will get it done right. Electric Garage Door Sales. Give them a call at 724-774-3200 or find them online at electricgaragedoorsales.com.
Are you looking for a cigar, tobacco, vape, and roll your own supply store in Beaver County? Visit Vape and Roll With It at 751 Merchant Street, Ambridge to shop for a variety of the best cigars in the walk-in humidor. They also sell vape juice, disposable vapes, glass, and CBD. You can also view several of their in-store promotions by following Vape and Roll With It on Facebook and Instagram. Visit vapeandrollwithit.com for more information. Don't worry about prices or stress, just roll with it. Open 7 days a week on Merchant Street in Ambridge. That's Vape and Roll With It.
Thanks for tuning in to the Falcones Moon Township Ford Coaches Corner here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being brought to you by Electric Garage Door Sales, Forward RX, Patriot Home Care, the YMCA, Freedom United Federal Credit Union, All Access Automotive, Drug Free Aliquippa, the St. Barnabas Health System, the Fry Transportation Group, the Community College of Beaver County, Tri-State Sporting Arms, Vape and Roll With It, Carver Construction, and Beaver County Radio.
Back to finish up on our final 7 minutes here of our first show, Falcones Coach's Corner. We're going to go over 4A real quick, and then we'll go over the games real fast until we hit up onto the 8 o'clock hour. In 4A, it's Section 1, where we have Aliquippa, Ambridge, Blackhawk, West Allegheny, and then Montour and Newcastle. Now, another very, very, very good section. Arguably, probably the best section in 4A again. Everybody knows how good Aliquippa is. Ambridge has been expected to be good, but they've struggled the last few years. Blackhawk has been down for a while. West Allegheny, what a great program there. If you look at WPL titles alone, there's not a school there that hasn't won a WPL title in their history. You can't say that about all these conferences.
No, yeah. One of probably the toughest conferences in the WPL and in the state, just from top to bottom, what this conference has, especially those top 4 teams that made the postseason last year. They're going to be competing for spots this year. When you got Aliquippa, Montour, West A, and Newcastle, teams like that, they're going to be tough to beat. They're going to be tough outs this year, and I think bring a lot back.
If you're Blackhawk and Ambridge, who were on the outside looking in, you've got a second-year coach for Blackhawk who is trying to change the program, and you know he's not real talkative. Jake Wickline is, but he has a good football background. But their numbers keep dropping there. Again, another school with a ton of new sports. They beat Beaver Falls last week, but do they have enough to compete in this section?
Yeah, they won one game last year. It's going to be, once again, tough sledding like it is for any team that goes up against this conference this year. They return pieces. They have Jamison Feely back. He'll take over for Tyler Heckathorn, who graduated, who's now playing at Slippery Rock. That was one of the big pieces they lost. But Feely's going to be a guy that moves around a bunch on offense, does a little bit of everything for them. They also bring their running back. Braden McCarthy had a big sophomore year last year, comes back now a junior, bigger, stronger, and he's another guy that can have a really, really big year, both rushing and out of the backfield as a receiver.
And Ryan Pursuit is a nice little running back for them. Sophomore quarterback Jack Chevalier played really well, 6'1", 185. Did pretty good in his debut. Frank, let's talk about Ambridge. That's your hometown school. You know, they've gone on some tough times the last few years, football, basketball. You know Sherman McBride. You've talked to him over the years here on shows. You've seen him around town. You know, a lot of people expected them to be a little bit better in his third or fourth year, but still they haven't got to where he wants them to be. It's really tough when you're doing it in a section when you have to play Aliquippa, Montour, Newcastle, West A every year.
Yeah, I think their biggest problem is they're playing in such a tough section, and it's hard to find your footing whenever you're always playing against such tough teams. You know, Sherman brings a lot of experience and from a coach, has a lot of desire to win. I think he just has not been able to find the kids that have. You know, it's not like being at Aliquippa where every kid looks at it as, I want to play football. At Ambridge, there's so many other things kids can do.
Ethan, Aliquippa, and you know their head coach Mike Warfield is back. They lose key pieces, but they bring back key pieces. They lose Tyke Hayes, one of their best running backs ever. Lose a couple other kids that transferred that just didn't like the Aliquippa way, and they went back to where they were. But they bring back their quarterback, and they still have a lot of skill and talent.
Yeah, Mike Warfield. So when I was talking to him in the offseason, he wants a lot more out of Marcus Council. He knows what kind of talent he has, and they want him to do a little bit more. They're going to ask a lot more than what they've asked out of their quarterbacks in years past. It's going to be big for him. He has a chance to have a really big year, and they return pieces on defense. It's going to be a new defensive scheme for them, so it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to that. They're going to be playing more to their strengths on that side of the ball, so they're going to probably have another good year.
Only a couple minutes left. I'm going to go through 4 games. Ethan, I'll have you comment, then I'll go through another 4 games. Comment on a couple of the games, brief little things. We'll try to keep it brief. Aliquippa's at Bell Vernon. Ambridge is at Laurel Highlands, Beaver's at Blackhawk, and Central Valley at Thomas Jefferson. 3 Beaver County schools have to travel a lot. Beaver and Blackhawk are local. Anything on any of those?
Yeah,
3 games?
Beaver Blackhawk, big rivalry. Bell Vernon, Aliquippa, people got gypped out of that last year. It was supposed to be a big Whitfield Championship rematch from 3A and 4A schools. So that's going to be a good matchup to see this year.
Frank, Cornell travels to California. Long way to go there. Cross country, no, just a guy, California high school. Elwood City at 0-1 faces Shenango at 0-1. Fort Cherry comes to Ole. Should be an interesting game. Fort Cherry with Matt Sieg in his senior year. He's going to Penn State and probably only playing part of the year, just football, and then leaving. And then Amani travels to Beaver Falls.
Yeah, for me, Mike, it's looking at Beaver Falls going up against Amani. Will they be able to build off of last week's success and show that they're competitive? And for Olsh, I think is a great test for them playing Fort Cherry.
Ethan, Moons at Montour, another traditional rival. Newcastle and Hopewell, that should be an interesting game. Quaker Valley at Keystone Oaks. Riverside plays Northgate. I would think the big game on that schedule, besides Moon and Montour, is Newcastle and Hopewell.
Absolutely. That game's going to be huge for Hopewell. It's going to be a good prove-it game for them, playing against a Parkway Conference school. Newcastle coming off a 12-0 win over 5A Penn Hills last week.
And Frank, finally, Rochester and Freedom, both at 0-1 at Freedom. Summit Academy plays at New Brighton, a chance for Beaver County teams to get some wins. West Allegheny at Chartiers Valley, and your game, Southside Beaver and Western Beaver.
Really looking forward to the Southside Western Beaver game. That's going to be 2 great teams with high expectations, and it'll be also interesting to see New Brighton if they can continue to build on their success this week.
We want to thank everybody here from St. Barnabas and everywhere else, Frank Sparks and all the crew here. Thank you to Ryan Garazunas, my producer. Thanks to Ethan Morrison for joining us. Frank Solopek, who will be my co-host on most weeks. Thanks to both of them. Also, thanks to Pizza Joe's for providing pizza all year long. I hope I didn't forget anybody. You'll listen to us all year long at 7 o'clock every Wednesday. The Falcones Coach's Corner. Go Beaver County.
Thanks for tuning in to the Falcones Moon Township Ford Coach's Corner here on Beaver County Radio. Tonight's show is being